I'll be right back. Maybe you guys keep an eye on this for me. Don't let me lose any money, please.
Order filled.
Okay, awesome. We're still in the trade. Got a $300 bill on the trade here. Coming back on us. 275. Right at 3. So I'm copying this NQ Mack Truck Drone strategy right here in my trade copier as my leader account, and then handing it off to these Apex accounts here. You can see right here's the P&L for those Apex accounts on this particular trade. You can also see the account balance over here. As it moves up and down, these numbers will go ahead and fluctuate. They all started at 50,000 this morning, so we're roughly up $300. On 10 accounts, though, that'll be $3,000 all day long. And we're just getting started. They're 90% off today, folks. We're going to be trading like maniacs later. Okay, trying to hold on to this $300 bill. They keep taking it out of our hands, though. Coming back quickly. $275. Okay, I think David Wise is up here. I probably need to switch over. Looks like maybe that everybody's kind of dropping. Anyway, I've got some error here on the system, so maybe I'm not even projecting right now. I don't even know. So hopefully everybody has a great rest of your day, and good luck trading. If you haven't joined us yet with the AI Auto Trader, come on aboard though. Today is the day to do it. Cyber Monday. Everybody, appreciate you joining me here this morning. Had a great trading session. I appreciate trading with you. Have a great day. Bye, guys.
Yeah, some of the chip stocks are doing pretty good. Applied Materials doing nicely. Daily chart though, it's coming off of a deep low. Sorry, I don't have too much to say here right now. This is a pretty slow market. Folks watching on YouTube, again, slow market today. Qs have been outperforming the market by quite a bit. If you look at the SPY index, it's just been chopping all over the place. And the Russell 2000, the IWM, again, just choppy. Qs have at least have some sort of an upward trend, but mostly compression right now. And right now this is the current time frame momentum. This is our compass system or our SPY super system. This is the current time frame momentum. This is the multi time frame momentum. These are the key levels of indicators that we use. This one we use for the SPY super system when we're trading the SPYs, the Qs, the IWM for quick intraday trades. This is the one we use. Yellow and red is bearish. Blue and green is bullish. You can see we're just switching back and forth here, so that's not much of an indication. This tells us that the multi-time frame momentum is this we use in conjunction with when we take a stock long. We look at the daily chart and we're looking for green and blue for both of these, for long, and red and yellow for short. So right now there's just not much to trade. Just not much to trade. It's a very slow day. We even grabbed the dime in the Qs. Yeah, board trading at its worst. Yeah, that's what it is. Really, this is the kind of day where it's hard for traders to be patient, but this is where it takes a lot of patience. You should really just kind of be sitting on your hands right now. There's really no direction in the market. There's a few stocks that look pretty good, but you don't want to chase them. So right now, I'm just watching. Picked up IONQ today as a discount. Nice job, William. Yeah, pull back today. Well, a lot of them have pulled back a little bit. It's still a nice setup. HOT's down a little bit today. It's in the financial services, so not unexpected as the markets. The XLF, which is the financial index, you can see is pulling down today. XLE, which is the energy index, is also down. XLK, which is the tech stocks, you can see they're the ones that are performing well. Very slow market. Very slow market. And all the semis are bouncing up today. Nvidia's up nicely. Taiwan Semi up about 5% today with a nice move. So the chip stocks, which have been weak lately, are getting a little bit of action today. Intel bounced up today about 5%. CEO was fired, brought in somebody else. This is a chart on just one of the semis we could talk about. TSM. Oops. It's TSM. This would be a semiconductor. You notice how choppy this thing is, but it's moving up. Most of the semis are all moving up today. This bounced right up through the moving averages, the 50 right here. The 8 and the 15 moved up nicely. ASML also up nicely. Nvidia up right against resistance. AMD also just breaking up through the 8 and 15 with some horizontal resistance just above. Applied Materials also bouncing up nicely. So most of the semis are doing really nicely today. They have been beaten down, kind of choppy in the past, but they look decent right now. And there's the triple Qs right there. No idea what the market's going to do here right now. I mean, we're just getting just a lot of compression. A lot of compression. Even some of the stocks that look really strong this morning are compressing and pulling back. Netflix looked real good. Square looked really good. Lulu looked pretty good. Lulu still looks good. SMCI, another tech stock that looks nice. This one's that had the reports on the accounting oddities and seems to have been cleared. So there is some upside potential in SMCI. I have no idea when the earnings are going to be in SMCA. That's the problem with it. You know, they've got them here as 11.5, which they haven't had them yet. So there's a little speculation problem there. Applied volatility is very high in SMCI. Options are very expensive.
Okay, that'd be great. I don't see my other devices. Okay.
like to trade this SMCI. Again, we don't know when the earnings are coming out, so. But as far as a speculative trade in this thing, you can take a 40 call, 42 call debit spread. Buy the 40, sell the 42 for this week. You can do it for about 82 cents right now. 79 cents on SMCI call debit spread. 40, 42. Buy the 40, sell the 42. Expiring this week. Just a quick trade, but it does seem to be outperforming. I took some of that SMCI, the 40, 42, buy the 40, sell the 42, expiring this week. I got it for 79 cents, I think. Yep, bought the 40, expiring 12.06, sold the 42, expiring 12.06. I got it for 79 cents. There's a call debit spread. I mean, I like SMCI. The breakout is nice here. They've apparently been cleared. I have no idea when earnings is coming. I'm just going to try to peel off some profits in it if I can get it today. If I can get it for 79, I can get out for about probably anywhere from $1.10 to $1.20. I'll take it. Again, Q's going nowhere. SPY going no place, just chopping around. A lot of chop here in the market. Again, I did take a debit spread in SMCI. I bought the $40 call, expiring Friday. Took the 40 call and sold the 42 call. So I got a 40, 42 call debit spread, 79 cents, or $79. Looking for about $1.15, $1.10 to $1.20. If we can get a move in it today, up into the 41s. Yeah, I'm not going to post it. It's way too speculative with the market as bad as it is, or as not really bad, but basically as undecided as it is. Especially with SMCI, I have no idea when earnings are going to be. And again, it's been a really volatile stock because of news, so there's some risk to it. But I do like the price for a $2 spread for 79 cents. It's the folks watching on YouTube. Welcome to the room. Again, it's a pretty slow day in the market. The market's not doing much. You can see the SPY has just been all over the place. The IWM, which was really bearish this morning, has come back a little bit. And the Qs have been the best. The tech stocks is where the money is going in this morning. The XLK, which is a tech index, is up pretty nicely. Qs have a very slow uptrend here right now. I'm watching the current time frame momentum. This is how we trade the SPY super system, which is buying, trading the SPYs, the Qs, or the IWM on a 5-minute chart, looking for some moves here to the upside or to the downside, and we try to capture that. We use the current time frame momentum, which is right here, which is going bullish right now. Blue is bullish, green is bullish, yellow and red are bearish. So it's switching over to buy. It's right at the 15. This little line here is a 15 EMA, and this purple line is the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. This is a real important line for support and resistance, and so is the 15. That's what we use for our entries into the SPY super system, which has been producing tremendous results month after month here lately. But again, you got to be patient. You got to wait for the setups. You don't want to force anything. So right now, this is a decent entry. We have a pop out of the box symbol right here, which is this arrow that tells us that the Qs are breaking compression. But you've noticed this huge compression is in. We had a nice little move up this morning. This is a really sideways motion with really no definitive direction in the market at all right now. So this is what's called a low probability trading environment, LPTE. low probability trading environment. You're not going to find a lot of really good trade setups. There's a few, but the market's not giving you much support. I took a call debit spread in SMCI. I bought a $40 call and sold a $42 call expiring this week for $79 a contract. Looking to get between $110 and $115 a contract if it moves up into the 41s today. How do I scale my position size? Listen, on a day like today, my position sizes are going to be pretty small. On a choppy market, I don't take very large position sizes. On a trending market, I'll take larger position sizes. I may scale in. I didn't on the SMCI. I took what I was going to take for a full size on it when I started. But yeah, you can scale. You can scale in and scale out. But on a day like this on the SPY Super System, for example, it's really kind of I'm basically just getting in and getting out because there's no big trend to ride one way or the other. If you had a nice move up and then a little bit of a pullback and then another bounce, you could maybe add some more contracts as a pullback and bounce. But with the way this market's going today, if I get a move up, I'm taking profits.
Thank you too. Thank you for your patience. Bye-bye.
Again, all our existing conditions, I'm just going to just stay in them and ride them today. I want to see what the daily chart looks like toward the end of the day. They're all still bullish, and don't have any intentions of getting out of any of them today, although they're all down for the day. So if you're gazing at your P&L, it's going to look a little bit weak. I recommend not watching your P&L. We're just watching the technicals on the trades, and they're all still fairly bullish. FI is pulled back right to the 8. Fortinet is pulled back, but still above the 8. IONQ, which we just got into on Friday, has pulled back, but still above the 8. This is still a nice setup on all of these. And HUT too. HUT's back today. The financials are weak today. HUT's pulled back with them, but still above the 8. So those I'm just going to wait to see what the daily chart looks like. I'm looking to trade some intraday stuff here. Right now, I like the Qs. I did like SMCI. I took a call debit spread on SMCI. The 40-42. Bought the 40 call, sold the 42 call. I get in for $79 a contract. Going for $85 a contract right now. Again, I'm not looking for any big, huge gains today. It's just the market's just not doing much. It's got the Thanksgiving Day hangover probably. Too much tryptophan. The market is really slow. Again, these are the kind of days, if you're a trader, you always want to be in trades, and that's not what you want to do. Again, and as I point out in our room and on our alert service, our objective here is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money. We only do that by taking the very best trades. We've got the very best software that you can get to identify what institutions are in the trades, and we've got tremendous technical setups and great methodologies that work 85 to 90% of the time. We just stick with those, and if you don't have the setup, don't take it. Just put your hands in your pocket, sit on your hands, put your wallet away, and wait for the setups. Don't feel like you got to rush a trade or take a trade just to be trading. And no trade is a trade as well. Remember, cash is a position. Again, I will look at the T2104 to give me an indication of market direction. That's the cumulative volume index over everything. It's been bearish all day, right from the market open. So that's why you've got to be careful on longs. You can see the Qs are doing pretty well right here. But if you look at the IWM, it's just kind of chipping around. It's actually down for the day. And the SPY, which has just been all over the place. So the cumulative volume index hasn't really shown any indication yet of reversing to the upside, so it's definitely bearish right now. Again, I use that for trading overnight trades. If I get a divergence, if I get the T2104 looks bullish and the market looks bearish, I'll go long overnight and vice versa. Joe took equity and SMCI in at 17.95, out at 41. Orange got into low. Good dough. Can you check HEAR, Maggie? Sure. Turtle Beach. Yeah, nice setup on HEAR. Very nice setup in HEAR. There's the Q's with a little pop. This is HEAR here, right here, Maggie. You can see that it's been in a pretty tight range here for quite a while, but it is trying to break out here today, coming off this low. Came off the 200, went right through the 100, right through the 50, and now it's up off over all these, and it's breaking out. I mean, that's a breakout right there. If I go back and look for some other high volume lines, I'm going to find some resistance levels. Here's where it's trading right now. Here's the next resistance level, the nearby resistance levels right there. Oops. Pop it on right there. That's the next resistance, and you get quite a few resistances in the middle here. This is the area that it's going to be running into a bunch of resistance in. So if I switch back to the daily, there's where it's likely to go right now, 1849. That would be the next resistance on it. All right, Maggie, that help, I hope. Q's with a little pop here. Q's jumped up pretty nicely here off of this SPY Super System trade. If you're in this thing, you had to be really patient because it's just chopping around. But with the Q's, if you get a candle like this, that's good for about 25 or 30 cents right there. Again, as I said, the Q's is the one to be trading. It's much stronger than the other indexes. SPY trying to bounce with the Q's here now as well, but you notice the pattern here. Look at the overall pattern in the SPY. You see how choppy this is, and you compare that to the triple Q's. and you've got nice, smooth, much smoother price action. Now the SPY's breaking out, and this is on the SPY. You got to remember we're breaking through all. This is a new all-time high here right now. So this all of a sudden becomes very bullish. Even though the T2104 is pulling down, the SPY is moving up pretty nicely. I'm not going to chase it up here because I like the Qs, but I didn't touch the SPY. I'm not going to chase it. I'm going to wait for. No, I'm much more optimistic. If it comes back and touches the 15 of the VWAP and then bounces and this stays green or blue, then I'd be interested in a SPY super system trade at that point. You got some Netflix, 1220, 860 calls. Yeah, I like Netflix, William. I do. It's expensive, but this is a really nice PBO, a pullback opportunity. When we talk about a PBO, this is what we're talking about right here. Move this out of the way. This is a PBO, pullback opportunity. The stock moves up. It gets extended from the 8. See how it gets extended from the 8? Each time it does, it comes back. And then it comes back. This is a pullback opportunity. PBOs right to the 8. And now it's bouncing off of it. It's a nice setup on Netflix with a breakout. I like it right here. Again, the calls are going to be expensive. The stock is expensive. It's almost $900, but you want to give it a little bit of time as well. So that's gonna cost you a pretty penny for those. I'm not going to post something like that because the options are going to be too expensive. I mean, I take them, but I can't post them. They're too much money. But I can tell you it's a nice setup. And you know, if you go with the December 27th trade on Netflix, let me see. Let's see, it's trading at 897 right now. If you're going to go in the money, what you need to do, delta of around 65. Those are about $3,700 a contract for the 875s. Again, it's trading about $22 higher than that. So $22 of that $38 is intrinsic value. Very expensive. Here goes the Qs. Be interesting to see what the T2104 does here now. As the market's starting to bounce, it still looks really. This is the T2104 cumulative volume index, right? Take all the volume moving up, subtract the volume moving down. You've got just a downtrend all day long. This is the SPY right here. Notice the big pull down in here. Now the bounce, but you see T2104 is continuing to show a negative divergence, a bearish divergence from the SPY. A little early to make any judgments on it, but definitely is showing some of that. So that tells me that if I take a trade like the SPYs or the Qs or the IWM, I want to take profits pretty quickly because I don't see that it's necessarily going to continue on up. It could, obviously. SMCI still continuing to look good. Again, I did take a call debit spread on this for this week. I took the 40 calls and I sold the 42 calls. I created a $2 wide call debit spread for $79 a contract. Looking to get out for around $1.15. That would be a pretty nice gain. Okay. I'm going to try and do a recap this week of the month of November. We had a really good month of November. Both the alert service and the room were up really nicely. The SPY super system really performed tremendously. So it really, I forget actually what I had it for. I think I had about 44 wins and 4 losses or something like that, or 44 and 2. It produced really good results. But you had to be patient. I mean, you have to be patient on these things. And again, it's producing a huge profit factor of 5.7, which is really high. And that's because the methodology calls for you to get in right at the VWAP of the 15. You're not chasing it up here. This is not where you'd be taking a SPY super system trade. You're taking it down here and getting out. You're not going to take it when the stock's moved away, like your Qs. You don't want to be touching the Qs right now. This is where if you get in here, this was your profit. You get out, you're out of the trade, or you're still in the trade, but you're not entering it again. You don't enter way up here. It's too far away. This is why the profit factor is so high on these, because we're getting in right down here around the VWAP or the 15. So our downside risk is really limited. If it closes below our support level, we get out. George, Q's hit its previous all-time high, 515.58. Yes, it did. Just went through it right there. And as I said earlier today, when you get into these, you had that 515.58, which was the all-time high. That has to be a resistance level that you're watching. And again, you can see that it just kind of flattened out a little bit when it got there, but it's through it right now. SPY's been putting in all the new all-time highs, all in the last 45 minutes for an hour. Each one of these is a new all-time high in the SPY. Netflix with a nice little pop here. SMCI still looks good. Again, I'm not chasing anything right now. I'm not gonna chase the Qs. I'm not gonna chase the SPY. I'm gonna wait for a pullback to a support level, and if it bounces off of there and confirms it's going back into the trend, we are getting a little bit of a bullish trend now in the market. IWM not participating, as you can see. In this one trade, I've actually taken one SMCI. I took this call debit spread on this, expiring this week. Bought the 40 call, sold the 42 call for $79 a contract. Looking to get about 115. Not sure it is right now. It's trading at 95 right now. In at 79 up to 97, so it's approaching $1, which is pretty nice. I mean, it'd be 21 cents on $79 entry, so 30% or so. But you know, that's on a debit spread that expires on a Friday. If you put it on a Monday, you can only really you try to get 15 to 20% on it normally. I got right now. I've got about to 20%, maybe a little higher. SMCI still easing up there. Triple Qs get just above the all-time high, kind of flattening out a little bit right now. IWM really pretty crummy. Getting a little bit of a bullish trend in the market though. Again, the cumulative volume index is continuing to show some weakness here. It's starting to flatten a little bit right now. Alright, see if we get any more questions. Oh, we took that Netflix. I really like the Netflix trade. Again, it's very expensive for the calls. About 3,000 at least. Ari pointing out ESPR, biotech with relative strength. ESPR. Yep. Cheap, fairly inexpensive stock, but nice. It's a biotech. Ari is very strong in biotechs. He's in the business. He understands that category, and has some really good picks. ESPR. It's too extended for me right now on the daily, but it's a nice setup. He said it needed to break through $3.40. Yeah, I see that. This is what he's looking at in ESPR right here. All right, so if we look at where it is right now with the 340 that he's talking about, it's right there, top of that candle. It's by pulling back. This is why you got to take profits fairly quickly today. Don't think this run is just going to keep on going. You got a T2104, which is a cumulative volume index showing bearishness, which is going to limit some of the upside move unless it switches over to bullish. Right now, you got to grab the profits when you can. Q's in and out right here. If you're in here, you're out right here, as it comes up against the standard deviation line, and I got up against the previous all-time high. And the only thing I'm in here that I've added today is SMCI. I've got a 41 call, sold the 42 call. I got a call debit spread on it for $79. I'm going to try to get out for about $1. I'm not even going to try to push this on a Monday. I'm going to try to take a dollar on it if I can. That'd be 21 cents on a 79 entry, so about 25%, a little bit more. It's trading at 95 right now. All right, again, watching the SPY here. The SPY's not a bad setup here. It's a decent setup. Coming off of the 15 right here. Again, this is a pretty slow day, as we know, but this is a SPY super system setup right here. But I wouldn't be expecting any massive gains. Q's also looking pretty decent. They didn't fall back quite as far as the SPY did, which is why I like the SPY here. It's a little closer to the support level. I took some SPY calls right here. Took some SPY calls. I'm playing around with some out of the money calls on the SPY super system just to test it. I'm in a test phase on that. Normally you would be taking in the money calls on this. You would probably take, in this particular case, you take the 603s for the regular SPY super system trade. But I'm testing out some out of the monies to see how they compare to in the monies for the return on investment, and what kind of win-loss rate they've got versus the in the money calls. I took out of the money calls on the SPY here just to test it. I took some 604s. I paid $36 a contract, and I've got a sell order in at $56 a contract, which is a big. If that hits that's $20 off of 36. That's a lot. It's more than 50%. You won't get that kind of return on the in the money. It'll probably would be more in the neighborhood of about 25 or 30%. But they in the monies. You don't get so much time decay problems within the money, or if the stock pulls back, you don't lose as much premium on your options. So that's why I'm testing this. It's going to take me at least a few weeks to test this out. But right now I'm in the SPY long. Alright, so the SPY's cooperating. Not going to be a big, huge move here, and I'm not looking for any big, huge move. Again, the return will be nice if this one works out, but I did try out of the money calls on this one. Normally, if you were taking this, you should be taking in the money. You should be taking the 603s, even the 602s, but 603s at least. And I took the 604s as a test for out of the money calls. I want to see how these work. I've only got about 15 of them the trades on so far, and they're producing about a little bit more per trade than the in the monies are, but not substantially so. The in the monies have been producing about $152 a contract. No, $152 a trade, and the out of the money's been producing about $182. But again, you've pullbacks can really hurt the position pretty quickly. right, I took profits in it. I got 10 cents. But, 10 cents on 36 is pretty good. But I'm out of that trade right now. I'm just testing these out, by the way. So if I was in the money, I'd probably still be in the trade. Since I can still follow the 8 up. That's the difference between out of the money and in the money is that you can't really take many pullbacks out of the money because you're out of the money. So your premium's getting drained much faster than if you're in the money. So if I was in the money, I could if I get in at the 15, I can kind of wait for it to pull back and wait for it to get below there before I get out. I can't do that with out of the money. With out of the money, I've got to take profits when I can. They have to be managed differently. So right now I'm out of it. Jonathan, on the SPY super system, what time of the day do I switch to the following day's expiration? After 12 o'clock, after 12:30, right about lunchtime. In the next half an hour, I'll be switching. A lot of it depends on what I'm seeing here. The markets. This is not a great market right now, but I would switch to the next days. Now, if I'm switching to the next days, I'm not going to be using out of the money. I'm going to be using in the money. I'm not going to use out of the money for the next days. And with the way the T2104 is right now, I can't really be considering going long overnight right yet. I got to see some variance in the T2104 that shows me bullish variance, and what I've got right now is a bearish variance. This is the T2104. This is the cumulative volume index for the day. Look at this. All right, this is bearish, and this is the SPY right here, the red and green line. SPY has been chopping around, but it's definitely moving up here right now. T2104 is moving down, so our volume is more bearish than bullish. So that tells me that I can't, at this point in time, even consider taking an overnight long in one of the indexes. I would actually be considering taking an overnight short in one of the indexes. SPY starting to bounce. Very nice here. Again, this was a decent SPY super system entry. And I'm just in test mode. If you're trading these, and I know I've got a lot of people trading these, this is a good SPY super system entry right here off this 15. And you'd still be in it if you'd had in the money calls. Triple Q's not quite as good as the SPY here right now. SMCI jumping up. Again, SMCI, I'm trying to get out for $1. It's trading at 97 right now. SPY continuing to move up. Gave up a little bit of profit on the SPY. I got out for 46 cents. Actually, I got out exactly what it's at right now, so no harm, no foul there. I just got filled in my SMCI, filled in SMCI. So again, that was a decent profit for a Monday, with expiration on Friday. The debit spreads that expired the current week, it's hard to make too much more than 15 or 20% on Monday or Tuesday because of there's still so much time left on the short puts or short calls, depending on which one you're in. So you got to try to squeeze out what you can. And again, I get in at 79 and I get out at $1. So 21 cents on basically an 80-cent entry. It's about 25%. So I'm out of the SMCI call debit spread for about 26-27%. I took a SPY, getting into 36 out of 46. That's pretty close to 30% on the SPY Super System trade. Again, I'm just waiting for other entries right now. A little after 12 o'clock, so. Market pretty bullish, but the IWM is not. The Qs is the most bullish index right now. Qs up 1.2%. SPY up 0.2%, and IWM is actually down 0.3%. So the Qs are outperforming by quite a lot. Jonathan, no problem. Appreciate my taking your time. I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody in the YouTube has. I'm really just kind of introducing folks to the SPY Super System methodology we've got here, as well as the Compass or the SPY Super System software, which is this right here. This software is putting really critical indicators on here. This is the current time frame momentum. This is the multi-time frame momentum. Green and blue was bullish, red and yellow was bearish. This tells us whether the institutions are buying or not, whether they're into the trade or they're not. This is telling us that the institutions are in buying the Qs right now. And on the daily chart, when we're looking at going long a stock, if we look, for example, at Netflix, if we switch over to the daily chart, this is going to tell us what these indicators look like. Again, you see on the daily chart here, we're yellow here on the current time frame momentum, but green on everything else. This is long-term trend. This is a derivation of money flow. So this is still a little yellow, but this is a pullback opportunity, a PBO. So you're anticipating a bounce here in the Netflix, which makes this an okay trade. This is likely to switch over to blue by today or tomorrow, but it's very expensive. These calls are very expensive in Netflix. SMCI, I took a call debit spread in this morning. You can see that we had the blue here on the current time multi-time frame momentum, blue on the current time frame momentum. Trend, of course, is down because it's dropped so much, but this was a nice recovery here for a long, which is why I took the debit spread and did pretty well. You know, I get in at $79 a contract. I get out at $1. That's about what I was looking for. I was looking for to get a little bit more than that, but on a Monday it's really hard to do that. got my mic off. Sorry. Random user. When I trade credit spreads early in the week, now I'm trading debit spread, not a credit spread. I'm trading a called debit spread on SMCI. But assuming you're talking about my debit spread, do I take a larger position size to make up for the lower percent? No, I don't. I take the size I would normally take. I just don't expect as big a return. Yeah, the debit spread, correct. I don't expect as big a return on Monday or Tuesday because part of the way you make money on a debit spread is the time decay on the short contract that you've got. In other words, in this particular case, on the SMCI, my short call, it's not going to disintegrate or time decay as quickly on Monday and Tuesday as it does on Thursday and Friday. And that decay in that short position, the short call, is gonna give you a bigger gain on the trade. So you're gonna make more money toward the end of the week. But in this particular case, I'm not going to take a big trade. I'm just looking to get out today if possible because I don't know when earnings are going to be, and SMCI is a very volatile stock. So I'll just shoot for 20% on a Monday, and I'm happy with that. And I don't take it like a double-sized position to make more money. Basically I'd be taking a bigger risk if I did that. So it's this my size, the size of the particular trade I take, the amount of money I put in the trades is geared toward my risk, not toward my profit. And SPY pulling back. Again, this is why you need to get out of these pretty quick today if you can. When you get a profit, and don't be chasing them up here. See, this is the problem with getting in. This is where I get in right here, as it came exactly off the 15. I want to be close to that 15. I take profits here. I'm out, and now I'm looking to see if I can get back in again if it bounces again. So again, yeah, this SPY super system methodology is really, really strong. It's produced over a 5.7 profit factor, which is huge if you understand what profit factors are. 1 is break even. If anything over 2 is really good, 5 is massive. It's produced a 5.7 profit factor since July, since we've been testing these things. So, but again, they're very specific. The setups are very specific. The criteria are very specific. You can't be forcing trades, or you're gonna skew that all up. The trades are really, really good. You just have to be patient. But the reason I added it was a lot of folks in the room. They come in, they can't be in all day. They're in for an hour, couple hours in the morning, maybe an hour in the afternoon. And we don't notice we haven't taken any additional trades today at all. So people get bored. They want to trade. And over trading is one of the biggest mistakes that most traders make. And so, trying to keep people away from over trading, we tell everyone to have patience. One of our key levels here, one of our key criteria, have patience. But if you want to trade, then what you can do is you can look for SPY super system setups, because you're usually going to get some of those in the morning and in the afternoon. That gives you an opportunity to make some decent money, and they actually return some really good returns. I did over 90% in my SPY super system trades in November. Really good return. Again, I think if I estimated that I put 2,000 into a trade, I don't do that because it depends on the day. But if I take every trade and put 2,000 into each one of the trades, the SPY super system trades were up about 8,000 in November. There's a SPY coming back to it, the 15, and trying to bounce again. Again, it's really pretty choppy. Really pretty choppy. But, could be worth an entry right here. Again, it's lunchtime. So you might want to go with tomorrow's expirations on the SPY. .603s would be the likely list when you want to take. And Joe, on the SPY super system trade, once the candle hits support or resistance, you wait for the next 5-minute candle to close before entering the trade. Well, no, I typically, if I get it down to the support or resistance, like the SPY did right here, this was close enough to it for me on that little tail right there, then I'll take it on that candle. Again, my support level is right here, so I'm not going to wait for this one and then the close of this one. You can, but you know, if you get a bounce off, the thing is, if it continues to move up, then you miss the trade, and if it pulls back, and you're waiting, then yeah, you got to get in at a better price. So it's kind of 6 of one and a half a dozen the other. It depends on how aggressive you are. Steve, you're taking some more INOQ calls at 3:55. Okay, testing the 8. Yeah, it's down today. The SPY super system is specifically set up for the SPY Qs and IWM. It works on everything. Bashat, the problem is, the reason I use the SPYs, the Qs, and IWM is because they have the liquidity that I can get in and out quickly with, you know, usually a penny or 2 penny spread. A lot of volume. I don't have to worry about not having enough volume to get in and get out of the trade. You can use them on stocks. The setup works the same on stocks as it does as the IWM and SPY and Qs. You see the SPY bounced here, but now it's pulling back again. And again, if we look at the again, I'm suspicious because of the fact that the T2104 is bearish today, so that makes me temper my excitement about being long anything at all. IWM trying to bounce, so a little bit of money coming into the Russell now, and kind of coming out of the Qs and out of the SPY. Now we're getting a little bit of a breakdown here. Still green, and still sitting right on the 15. Again, if I'm in this here, I'm not out of this yet, but I'm getting pretty close to getting out on this pull down right here. But again, I'm likely going to wait for this candle to close. All right, getting pretty close to lunchtime here. Saw definite rotation into tech, and especially, yeah, semis today have been very strong. Now we're getting a little bit of a pullback here in the Qs. You notice the Qs pulling back, and you notice the IWM not pulling back. So we're getting the rotation into the techs is weakened a little bit right here. Now the semis are doing pretty nicely. SMCI that I took worked good, but stocks like ASML up nicely today, Nvidia up nicely today, starting to pull back a little bit. I mean, you have to be careful. Rotation doesn't necessarily last forever for all day, but we did have some rotation into them this morning. The techs are very strong. That's why the Qs were outperforming so strong early in the day on the open, and as they moved sideways and ground up a little bit, the SPY was way choppier. You just notice how choppy the SPY was here. So it was easy to see that there was money going into the tech stocks right now. But again, my T2104, which is the cumulative volume index, is bearish for the day, which gives me pause for being particularly aggressive on the long side. I'm not. Yeah, NVIDIA, interesting, sort of weak. The thing with NVIDIA is, since earnings, it's been trading pretty crappily. It came down. Here's the NVIDIA chart right here. It came down after earnings. This was the earnings right here, and then it pulled back down through the 50, and then it hit this algo line I've got on here. It's the algo line I draw for institutions use this kind of level through the 50, and then 50 is the red, bounced off the algo line, bounced, but it's running into a little resistance here. It's got this high volume that I draw, these high volume resistance levels, 140.70. You've also got the 8 exponential moving average, which is this red line, which is red. Usually it's white when it's moving up, it's red, and then you get the 15. You notice it'll right to the 15 and pull back. To me, this is still in no man's land for NVIDIA. If you look at like ASML, a little bit better. It's got a little bit of room to the right. But again, this was pulling back as well. Intel had a big pop this morning. This pushed a little money into the semis as the CEO got fired or left. So that popped the company. But it's moving back a little bit right now. And some of the techs are doing pretty good. There's Apple with a pretty nice move on the day. Google, which has been really weak, popped up today. Right through the 15, which is that orange line. Amazon, right here, up to the resistance, fell right against it. Tesla today moved up close to resistance, but really not going anywhere now. So that's the techs have been stocked, but strong. But again, I'm very cautious because of this T2104. This cumulative volume index is very bearish, and that is kind of a warning sign. Triple Q's coming off the 15 here right now. Notice it's yellow right now. You don't want to take it because we still got current time frame momentum. You want this to go blue or green. So you wait to see where this candle closes. All right, again, pretty slow market here. I'm going to stop and take lunch here in a minute. It's about 12:33. I want to thank everybody from the YouTube for watching the setup this morning. Again, this is the SPY super system I've been showing. I haven't purchased any new long stocks like shorts today. I did take SMCI for call debit spread that I made about close to 30% on this morning. That was just a fairly quick trade on SMCI. Buying the $40 call, selling the $42 call for a $79 a contract, and I get out for $1. So not bad. But that's all I've done. And I'm waiting to see if we can find some more trades. Market's not really giving us much. We did put in a new all-time high on the Qs. We put in a new all-time high on the SPY, but the cumulative volume index is weak, which is giving me pause. So I'm not really aggressive on any longs right now, and right in the moment I'm not in anything new. Anything that we didn't have coming into today, I have not got anything on. All right, so listen, I want to thank everybody in the YouTube community for being here. Again, this is the SPY super system, or what used to be called the Compass system. This tells us what the institutions are doing on a current time frame momentum, a multi-time frame momentum. This is a long-term trend. These are the two I use: current time frame momentum. Specifically for the SPY super system, this is the only indicator I use, along with the VWAP and the 15 EMA. All right, I look at the market trend obviously, but this is a current time frame momentum. This is multi-time frame momentum. Both of these together, when you look at a daily chart, should be green or blue for long, red or yellow for short. That tells you the institutions are buying. If it's red or yellow, that's selling. So this tells you if you're trading with the institutions or not. This piece of software goes on your Thinkorswim platform. You don't have to trade off of Thinkorswim. I do not trade off of Thinkorswim, but this is really a powerful piece of software. to help you identify if institutions are in the trade or not, and it's so easy to notice because of the coloring setup for this thing. It does a lot of calculations, but this colors are really helpful to see. Notice we're going from yellow to blue here. Candle hasn't closed yet, so it's trying to go back to bullish, but we just watch it. All right, so and again, I have a trading room that we trade every day, Monday through Friday. I'm in here from market open to market close, and I do take some time for lunch. And I also have an alert service if you want to get alerted on the high probability trades that we take in the room. You can go to your alert service and you can trade from there. All right, everybody, thanks very much. Appreciate it. Everybody on YouTube, and how much? If it depends on which thing you're talking about, Roger. All you have to do is check in with Rightline, and they'll tell you. They'll give you exactly, or you can go to the website. The website will show you the RightlineTrading.com, RightlineTrading.com, where you can get all the pricing, all the particular products we've got. My products are the alert service, the trading room, and the software, which is called SPY Super System. SPY Super System is also what I use for the methodology for trading off the SPYs, the Qs, and IWM. All right, and so that's might be a little confusing, but SPY Super System is a really powerhouse. So you can just call them and check with them. I'll go to the website rightlinetrading.com, and you can see all of the particular entries there, all the particular proposals there, and just call and talk to the office. And Rory especially will be able to give you a really good he'll give you a good deal. He's really fair about these things. So just tell him you saw it on YouTube, and he'll take care of you. And his number, by the way, if you look at it, is 786-732-4656. Put this in there. Pop this in here as well. There's the phone number. All right, everybody. So listen, thanks. I'm going to take a break and get something to eat. I appreciate everybody coming in to see the room today. Always nice to have some folks in here seeing us trade. Fairly slow day. I did take one SPY Super System trade for decent 30% profit, and I did take the SMCI called debit spread for about a 30% profit. So not a lot of weight. Not I don't think a lot of good trades today, but I've only taken two, which is fine, and they were both profitable, and that's the name of the game. All right, everybody. I will shut down the YouTube, and we'll be back here tomorrow. So if you're interested in seeing some more of this, I'll try to do it every day at about 11 o'clock or so.